Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we are going to be discussing the Miami Dolphins making their change to make Tua the starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. We are going to be talking about how this affects fantasy football, how this affects the Miami Dolphins, and how this affects the scope of the NFL. So first, we're going to talk about some fantasy football analysis here. Now, this completely throws a wrench into the Dolphins football team for fantasy football, because now you really have no idea who the wide receiver one is. Last year, we saw Preston Williams for the first 8 games clearly be that wide receiver one guy for the team, the guy in fantasy football that you wanted in your lineup. This year, that has not necessarily been true. Preston Williams has kind of been hit or miss on a weekly basis, whereas Devontae Parker has kind of been that safe kind of wide receiver for your team. Gesicki has also been a guy of name that has been very relevant for fantasy. I understand last week up against the New York Football Jets, he put up a goose egg, but he has played quite well thus far this season. So how does all of these kind of guys change with Tua Tagovailoa? Now, obviously, Carol Gaskin, a.k.a. actually his real name is Myles Gaskin, has been very, very good thus far this season as well. So my kind of assessment on each player is as follows. So for Myles Gaskin, I actually think this helps out Myles Gaskin having a quarterback that's not necessarily kind of a brick or a statue standing behind there. And I understand Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to make those moves and try to run the ball every once in a while, but at the end of the day, he's not really a complete and utter threat to defenses in the rushing game like Tua Tagovailoa will be for the Miami Dolphins. There will be points of the game where Tua will break free and he will run for a zillion yards. Now, as a Miami Dolphins fan, I am very scared to see that, because I am a bit worried about Tua just going out there and not breaking a leg like they say when you're going out there to go do a musical. Hey, break a leg. No, like seriously, break his fucking leg. Knock on wood that does not happen because of the injury. But what this tells me is that the Miami Dolphins and Brian Flores are 100% confident that Tua Tagovailoa is not injury prone. He is going to go out there and play up against the Rams, not this week, but next week following their bye. So all of this fantasy kind of analysis comes for the future of the Dolphins. It starts next week because they have their bye. Again, Myles Gaskin, I think, is going to be better, because now, just like in New England, just like with these teams where they have rushing quarterbacks, like with the Ravens, you saw how, and like Kyler Murray in Arizona, where the running back just has these wide open lanes because they're worried about a guy like Tua running the ball. And I'm not saying Tua's Lamar Jackson. I'm not saying he has the speed of Kyler Murray. I'm not saying any of this stuff. But what I'm saying is that it is much harder for the defense to be ready when they have a quarterback that can actually maneuver out of the pocket, a guy who is fucking lefty. There are no lefty quarterbacks starting in the NFL besides Tua now. So, again, with all the wide receiver core, this really confuses me. I really have no idea how to think. I'm still playing Devontae Parker, and I'm still playing Mike Gesicki, but you better know that if these guys start sucking ass, that would not surprise me at all. If Preston Williams suddenly emerges as the wide receiver one again, if some random guy on the team, maybe Tua loves Isaiah Ford, or Tua loves some guy that's on the second string that plays very little snaps, because that's what we saw happen last year in Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill and A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown was not a starter on the Tennessee Titans, really. He was kind of just like that second, third option on the team that would play every once in a while. But then once Ryan Tannehill came in, Tannehill has been practicing all year when he was the second string guy with him, and then A.J. Brown becomes the monster that we know of him today. So that could definitely happen in Miami with some random wide receiver. But right now, I'm still good firing out Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki, as well as Myles Gaskin. Can you pick up Tua Tagovailoa and add him to your fantasy team? 100%. 100%. I don't actually think that you would play him coming off the bye up against the LA Rams. To me, that seems a little fucking risky, but I think that you can keep him on your team and kind of wait a little bit and see how he plays. Personally, I just think the Rams kind of matchup is kind of scary, which does confuse me. Why the fuck are the Miami Dolphins rolling him out there up against the Rams? I guess because it's after the bye and they feel like he'll be ready for the Rams and he might murder Aaron Donald. For the Miami Dolphins, this is overall, in my opinion, the best move they could have made. They let him sit for multiple weeks behind Fitzpatrick, and now they make the move to bring him in. This is the move to do. Now, I honestly thought that we would see this in like the week 9 or 10 bye we were originally supposed to have. So them moving the bye up, I guess this was always the plan for Brian Flores, is what this tells me. That Brian Flores always believed that Tua was going to be the guy coming out of the bye. The bye just so happens to now be week 5, or week 7, I should say, instead of being like week 9 or 10 like it was supposed to be due to the coronavirus changes. So Tua's in. The Dolphins are definitely trying to make the playoffs now. That's what this tells me. They were looking all right. They were stagnant here. Now we're 3-3, second in the AFC East. What this tells me is that we're going to try to make that push to make the playoffs. 7 teams make it this year, so watch out for the Miami Dolphins. For the scope of the NFL, all this tells me is now all 3 of the rookie quarterbacks are in: Burrow, Herbert, and Tua, and we're really going to see who the rookie of the year is, and that is the man by the name of Tua Tagovailoa. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If you did end up enjoying, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Go Dolphins. I got the man's jersey on right now. We're going to the fucking Super Bowl, and that's just a fact. Have a great rest of your guys' day. I love you all. Goodbye!